What's going on, guys? My name is Sebastian Stoneham. I live full-time in my 1985 Volkswagen Vanagon, and this winter I'm building the motor and I'm supposed to be doing the interior, but if I'm being completely honest, I haven't done anything in the past couple of days because I've been overwhelmed and stressed out. Well, I've got the engine out of the van, as you guys know, and I've also got the transmission out of here as well. Today my plan is to, I guess, lap the valves or finish cleaning up the head. I've got the head off of the engine here. I just put it on so it doesn't rust. I'm gonna finish cleaning up the head, pull out the valves in my spare head that I have right here, lap the straight valves into the head and assemble it all together, and I'll get a head start on this before I find something else to do and get distracted. The other day I ended up taking out the retainers for the valves in this head so I could pull all the valves out and see which ones are bent. And while I'm doing that, I might as well clean up the valves because there's a lot of carbon on the exhaust valves here and I don't even know if they're all straight or not. So that's what I'll do today. I probably have spent way too much time cleaning up the head, but hey, we've got a good basis now. I cleaned up the surface of the head just so I could have a clean area to work in when lapping these valves, and then I cleaned out all the carbon from inside of all the exhaust valve ports here and just made sure there's not too much sediment buildup on the inside. There's a lot more carbon buildup than I originally thought was in this head. Like I said in a previous video, I built the bottom end of this motor when I originally built it, and I didn't do anything to the head. All I did was take it to the machine shop and they cleaned it out for me, made sure nothing was leaking and checked for cracks, and that's about it. Now I'm taking the time to diligently go through everything on this head and make sure to lap these valves my way. I was gonna take it to a machine shop and have them do all the work, just valve seals, maybe valve stem seals, and lap the valves. After looking at everything, I figured I could just do it all myself. The only thing I would benefit from is dunking this head to fully clean it out, but I could just buy like 3 cans of brake clean and do it myself. I did go pick up some lapping compound from the parts store, so after I thoroughly check these valves and make sure they're not bent and they are in good working order, then I'll go ahead and lap them and get the new valve stem seals in and finally lock them into place with the valve springs. But before I do any of that, I think I'm gonna head out and go for a bike ride so I could tell you about the sponsor of today's video. HOVERAir sent me out their X1 Pro Max for me to test out on my travels, and it has been an absolute game changer. This drone has over 15 preset flight modes in it, and if you don't want to use the preset flight modes, you could control it with your phone or the remote. Coming in at under 200 grams, this is the best tracking drone that I've ever used. I love how easy it is to get cinematic, smooth visuals that really do inspire. Lately, I've been using it on my bike rides because I could just fold it up and throw it in my pocket. If I see something cool, I could unfold it, pick one of the pre-selected flight modes, and have it either follow me, pan around me, or it could even fly in front of me or beside me to get those really cool shots. I don't have to set up a remote or carry any extra gear other than the drone itself. Right out of the box, I unfolded it, did a little bit of research, pressed a few buttons, and we're flying. Yeah, it's really that easy. There are many different settings you could go through the app, so you could dial in each preset mode so it could be ready for any adventure. If you would like to check out the HOVERAir X1 Pro Max for yourself, you can click the link in the description below. Alright, let's get back to this van build. What I'm going to be checking now is if there's any play in any of the shafts going into the valve stem seal, valve guide. Okay, the valves go into the valve guide and then the seal seals everything up. I'm going to see if there's any play in the valve guide and see if there's any issue and if I need to replace them or not. I don't really know. We'll see. I've got the valve seals off the end of the valve guides. Okay, so this is an exhaust valve. Right off the bat, there is a lot of play. A concerning amount of play in this valve. Everything's cleaned up. There's nothing in the way. And that rocks back and forth significantly. Let's just keep going. There's a little bit of play in the intake valve. In the first cylinder here. Same amount of play, so it might be normal. I'm not really sure. Intake valve is the same. Intake valve is the same. Exhaust. I think that's exhaust, yeah. A little bit less play. Still a lot more than I was thinking. Yeah, that has a lot less play, but still a lot. That's not right. I'm not really too sure what I'm looking at here. This is not my first time lapping valves, but I don't know too much about this head or about diesel engines still, even though I'm working on one. That doesn't feel right. The clearance between the valve and the valve guide should be a lot less. It shouldn't be wiggling around like that. I know any better. I'm not too sure. I'm just making some guesses. I need to go on the forums and do a little bit of research on my end to see if that is okay or not. I don't believe it is. I'll do some research tonight and possibly order up some valve guides. My thing is replacing valve guides in this head. I've never done it before, and I've never done it in any head, so I don't know if I could do it myself. I've seen a few things on the internet where I can do it myself, but I don't know if I need to take it to a machine shop for them to do their final like tolerance checks. I have no idea. This is a new realm for me. Also, do I need to replace all of the valves if I replace all of the valve guides? Because the tolerances are just going to be even further off. Also, not too sure. What I can do is do my research and see if I need to replace the valve train and the valve guides. I already ordered up the seals, and I did order 2 valves just in case any of these were bent, but I kind of looked at them and they don't seem to be bent. I put them in the drill and spun them around. They look straight to me, and I think after lapping the valves I wouldn't have any issues running it how it is. However, the valve guides are my main concern right now. That could be my ticking noise as well. Actually, it was just one significant tick that I was getting out of this motor, not 4, because it seems like all 4 of the valves, exhaust valves, are the ones that are loose. I also need to check the piston protrusion, but I haven't done anything with the bottom end of the motor yet. I need to do some cleaning, and I guess that's probably what I'll do the rest of the night here and pick this up in the morning. Alright, I've managed to clean up everything on the top end of the engine here. So I've got the pistons clean. I just covered everything with oil so it doesn't rust and whatnot, but I was able to get the surface of the block cleaned up as much as I can. It's a completely level surface. I'm not too sure how much warpage has been going on in the past couple thousand miles, but I'm not going to get the block decked or whatever, and I'm not going to shave any off of the head because the head isn't going to machine shop. I've also managed to get the valves out, as you guys saw, and test the valve guides, and I wasn't liking what I saw out of these valve guides, so I ended up ordering some new valve guides, and I went ahead and tapped some 5/16 threads into the top of each valve guide so I could lay some piece of metal, maybe this, maybe not, I'm not too sure, and try and pull those valve guides out and extract them out of this head. So once I do get the new valve guides in, I could just hammer them in and call it good. So I'll be working on that later today, but first I want to get the front components off of this ALH engine here and replace the pulleys and start working on replacing this timing belt as well. So I need a 15/16 all thread to be able to pull out these valve guides. So instead of doing that today, I'm going to work on the front end of this motor and see if I can't get everything torn down and start looking at what I need to replace. Now that the timing belt is off, I could replace all of the pulleys and start throwing this thing back together. I should be getting the valve stems in tomorrow, so I'll get those swapped out and then throw this engine back in. That's obviously easier said than done because I think in the next couple days it's gonna get really cold out. So that's when I'll be throwing the engine in, when it's like 20 degrees Fahrenheit outside. But we're in Montana and winter is quickly approaching, and the sooner I could get this van back on the road is the sooner I could start on the interior projects, and then we're headed down to Mexico in January. I want to wrap this up here, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and again, the HOVERAir link is in the description below. It's sponsors like that help keep this channel going. So, and these products I genuinely stand behind, so I don't mind promoting them at all. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in a couple days.